welcome back to the Fight Talk. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Ragip. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Obviously, it's Christmas season, getting ready for this Sunday. Excited for it. Let's just jump straight right into it. So, when you first heard
Great.
about influencer boxing and Mr. Box, were you happy about it, or did you believe it was a bit unethical for the sport,
What you mean, like misfits as in general?
or just influencer boxing in general?
Oh no, I think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant. For the sport of boxing. Reason being, because I started off in the professional world anyway, and then also came over here. So like I've seen and worked what real professional boxing like, what it's like behind the scenes and what goes on into making a show happen. And and I've also gone and spectated at some of the big shows as well. But coming and seeing what Misfits have done, um, it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant for the sport. Brings more eyes towards the
Yeah,
sport, and also it can help sort of influence the people who've come to tune into Misfits to look into the professional side of boxing as well.
100%.
And yeah, no, it's all good for the sport, man. No doubt about it.
Yeah, because I remember when influencer boxing first became an actual thing. Like I watched boxing beforehand, like big names, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. But I think influencer
Mhm.
boxing really got me started into liking boxing. So, will
Yeah.
you be part of the January Misfits card as a ring announcer? You know that, yeah.
um I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. It's not like 100% concrete,
Yeah,
um or like it hasn't been like officially announced or anything like that. But I believe so. Like it's either yes or no. Like, I can't give a definitive
yeah,
answer to that. But I believe so, and I hope so, man, because
yeah.
it's gonna be an amazing event, and and I'm looking so forward to loads of fights on that card, and it's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be a really good way to kick into 2023, and so I really do hope so.
I
But
remember
I believe so. Yeah.
I was at the first Misfits card. The atmosphere
Hmm.
was absolutely amazing. Like, and I saw you, and I didn't at the time I didn't know exactly who you were, but then when you were ring announcing, I was like, oh shit, like this is like some real deal shit Misfits are doing. So speaking of that
Oh,
January
wicked. Thank
card,
you, man.
Face Temper is obviously going to be fighting, but there's a mystery opponent which will be revealed on the night.
Mm,
You
yeah.
don't have to say if you know, but do you know who he's fighting?
I have
No.
no idea. No, I
Okay.
don't. I don't know. Like I find out when you guys find
Yeah.
out. I don't. I have no like involvement in who they're picking for fights and
Yeah.
who they're setting up fights with. I'm like a fan, so when I find out who's fighting who on social media, I find out with you guys,
Yeah.
man, and I'm as equally as happy when I see some of the cards that are coming out, man. So
This card
yeah.
is amazing, man. It looks really good. Compared to the other cards, like the other cards have been spectacular as well. But then this one, I think it's one of the most technical fight cards we've seen for Misfits because of the likes of Sol
Mm.
Pappy, Josh Bruckner. So yeah, I think it will be an amazing card. So out of all of the fights that you bring announced, especially for Misfits One, what was your favorite fight you've seen on that fight card?
What, on the first one?
Yeah, on the first.
Slim.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, Slim, man. Yeah, Slim, and it was phase temporary fought in the first one. Um, yeah, like you know what? It was just from it was such a strange but beautiful experience,
yeah,
because I didn't know any of the fighters when I got there. I didn't know who was who. I didn't know, who's had previous like sort of beefs or relationships with each other. I don't know who does a YouTube of what. I had no idea, and it was just all from going to the press conference, going to the weigh-in,
Yeah,
and then it's building up, and then being at the hotel and seeing the fighters and speaking with them, and it was then where I started like looking and enjoying these characters, man, and these people, and it was amazing. And I just thought, you know what? Because I grew up like watching wrestling,
yeah. Me too.
so
Me too.
so so this is the sort of thing, like it's sort of brought that little side of it to to boxing. Do you know what
Yeah,
I mean? And saying that also, sorry, I forgot. I was also looking forward to watching Sam Hyde
yeah. That.
because
Oh
of
my
that.
God, that was like a wrestling
Yeah,
gimmick. Cause like
yeah.
you
Because
see all
when
that.
I first sorry first I went to the public workout,
Yeah,
and when they started doing the interviews and I saw Sam Hyde going off, I was like, whoa, like this is awesome. Like, oh my God. I remember chilling with Fox. I'm going, oh, hey, this is bringing back like wrestling
yeah,
stuff to me, man.
yeah,
And I was like, this is brilliant. So I made a connection straight from there. I was like, man, because I grew up in the era of when it was WWF,
yeah,
so when it was
yeah.
proper,
Proper
when it was
hardcore
Jake the
wrestling.
Snake,
Yeah, yeah,
Big Boss Man, Demolition, Legion of Doom, Bushwhackers, all of them lot. But
yeah.
so it was very animated like that, in interviews and stuff like that. So it really like straight away warmed to me, man.
Like
And that was brilliant.
you say WWE as well. Like this opponent for Face Temper is kind of like WWE.
Hmm.
Like it's a mystery opponent. No one knows who it was. And like in some wrestling
Yeah,
fights, you see Vince McMahon doesn't announce who the opponent is, and it's like, oh shit,
yeah.
because like Misfits have done a good job because they're bringing some WWE vibes into it. It just hypes up like more. So yeah, what
Yeah, this
was
is awesome,
yeah
because like
amazing.
they've got the freedom, which like the professional world sort of doesn't have.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think it's great, and it's entertaining, man.
100%.
There's nothing more to say to it, apart
Yeah.
from it's entertaining and it's brilliant.
So, what was your initial reaction to the crowd and Misfits won? Like, it was your first Misfits event. How was the crowd? How was the atmosphere?
Man, it stemmed more from that because I sort of got into this like sort of accidentally, because I started doing this in 2019 on the trains. I
Yeah,
worked on
I saw the
London
viral video
Underground.
of yours as well. That
Oh
yeah,
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 man. So like it all happened from that,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, and the thing is, like, it was amazing because all I was looking to do, I was just doing it to just make the passengers
yeah,
happy,
yeah,
because the amount of like stroppy faces you
yeah,
see
yeah,
coming past you every day, and don't get it twisted, I saw at least maybe 2 to 3 thousand people walk past me a day, so like I got to see a lot of faces.
yeah,
And then like they said to us, in it, like you can do personalized announcements and things like that, and just be quirky with it if you want. And then like I always like love doing voices and things like
yeah,
that, so I just
yeah,
done it. But anyway, like if we cut the long story short, once that all happened, like it all went mad, and before the news, even before I went on the news, Michael Buffer was the first like person to like in the sport of boxing, like well known,
yeah,
to retweet the video,
yeah.
and then that was special to me, man.
I
And
can imagine. Yeah,
because I grew up watching Mike Tyson and box like Prince Nassim eras and all, and like
yeah. He was a crazy
Chris
boxer.
Eubank Senior, like Frank Bruno. Like I grew up watching around those
Yeah,
eras, and I knew Michael Buffer, who he was. Like, you can't. He's the legend ring
yeah, yeah.
announcer.
He's a
You know what I
legend.
mean? So like, and then for him to retweet that, that's what sparked something inside me, where I thought, you know what, if someone like him can see this and share it
Yeah,
on their platforms, and someone for what he does and what he's known for, I just thought, you know what, that he sees something. So I just thought, you know, I'm just gonna, any opportunity that comes, I'm gonna
Yeah.
pursue it. You know, I'm gonna just
100%.
push to pursue it. And then long story short, again, if we skip, I ended up getting the license, professional license, started off on small hall shows,
Yeah.
you know, and you know, and also there was, then the media coverage happened, then started all the small hall shows, and then, you know, COVID hit, and then that put like a big dent in the progression of the
Yeah.
trajectory on how fast it was growing and how it was going. You know, it was going really, really big and really fast, you know. And I remember a tweet uh from the Sowlands
Yeah.
brothers as
Yeah.
well, you know, sharing my video and saying, well, where is this guy? We got a job for him. And but then after, when I actually became professional and just started, COVID happened, and then that
Yeah.
just put a stop to everything. And then that sort of like, you know, it's natural. It happened. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not talking about COVID being natural, but like I'm saying, like, you know, if something stopped for a while, a lot of things are gonna die down.
Yeah.
The hypes are
100%.
gonna die down. If there ain't no shows going on, then I can't go and do more boxing shows to thing my career. You know, it's just, and then it all died down. So like, then the whole thing about with Misfits, and the first show, like, because it was a competition,
Yeah.
for them to get a ring announcer, you know, and
Yeah. I saw that. I know Foxer G made a video,
yeah.
and I was like, I saw
So
the post when you were the ring announcer, and that's when I started
mm,
to search you up, and then I saw the viral video. I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be fun. So it was
yeah,
crazy.
like it was crazy, all of that time, because when it first came out for the call out, I wasn't sure
Yeah.
whether to do it or not. I was saying to my wife, I was like, I might not do this. Like, I wasn't sure, you know, because now, you know, the professional side of it started picking back up
Yeah.
after COVID. I
Yeah.
started getting regular work there, and you know, and I know, you know, like, obviously I know the zone, because they you know, they showcase the biggest boxing, you know, shows, and so that was a thing for me. Well, that's what was drawing me to it, you know, because I had no idea. Like, I knew who KSI was,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
know he fought, what was it, he fought Logan
Logan
Paul
Paul. Yeah.
first, yeah, twice, didn't he fought him
Twice. Yeah.
twice,
And then
yeah.
one of them was
And
the year
I remember
before.
Eddie Hearn being involved in
Yeah.
one of
Yeah. So
them.
he was there for the
Yeah,
second one, and that's when the zone got introduced
yeah.
into
So
boxing.
yeah, so like, I remember that, and like, I knew of that, but
Yeah.
I didn't know Misfits, and I didn't know how big it was.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like, from knowing this, the zone, I thought, okay, this still will be the biggest thing I've done in my career.
Yeah.
Um, and I wasn't sure, and I said to my wife at one point, I don't think I'm gonna do it, and I decided that I wasn't gonna do it. And then so then it was done. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna apply. I thought I'll leave it. I go, I'm not gonna do it. I thought I'm gonna stick to the professional route and see how it goes. Um, but then I slept on it.
Yeah.
The next day I woke up, and I don't know, something just told me, go edit your video and apply.
Thank God you applied,
Uh,
because
so you know what?
yeah.
And no, it is God. I
Yeah.
ain't gonna lie, man. Like, first and foremost, you know, all praises to God, and everything I do, you know, is because of God, and thank Him for all the blessings. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was God basically telling me, look, go sort your video out and edit it,
Yeah.
and send it off and apply. So I thought, I woke up, and I said to my wife, you know what, I'm gonna apply.
Yeah.
She was like, she was happy. She really wanted me to, but she like accepted my decision when I said the
Yeah.
day before, I'm not gonna do it. But I could see she was happy. She was like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
go do it.
Must have been.
So I was like, okay. So then I edited my video, and sent it off, and I remember reading that they're gonna announce the winner. So like, I was like, okay, so like we're waiting for the announcement
Yeah.
and I remember it's the day, and we still ain't, like, me and my wife, we're checking socials, and we still ain't seen nothing. So like we're checking all day. I'm like, they still ain't announced it. They still ain't announced it. And then I go, you know what? I've had enough of looking at my phone. So I just put it down. I turned on my console. I started playing games. So I started playing games. And then I still remember I was playing Ghost of Tsushima, actually. I was playing
Yeah.
that. And
Banging game.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
playing that. And then I just felt my phone vibrate next to me. And then I started, like, I paused and like I just see it's a DM from the zone. I'm like, oh my God. Couldn't
That
believe it.
feeling must have been absolutely amazing, because I remember I was
Uh,
going to try and do this whole announcing thing when I was like, you know what,
yeah,
I don't have the following behind it, so I was like, I'll take a pause on that. Maybe in a few years I'll do something like that, and then that's why I
yeah,
just started doing these breakdown videos and what I'm doing right now.
yeah,
Just
man. No, I appreciate what you're doing, man. And thank you again for having me here, man.
yeah,
Just big up yourself, man.
uh,
And
thank you for being on
but
here.
yeah, so that, oh, no problem at all, man. I know what it's like, man. I know what it's like, 'cause, like, again, when it all started in the professional world, I
Yeah,
started trying to do a YouTube channel. So
yeah,
I know what it's like. Do you know what I mean? From
yeah,
starting from scratch and trying to build, you know. But yeah, so then I told my wife, I go, you know what, I got it. And then we were just, I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. And then, that's when I sort of got in contact with
yeah.
them and corresponded and how everything was going. And it was crazy because they told me I can't say nothing to no one or post
Oh
anything or
wow.
nothing for about 2 to 3 days.
Oh, that must have been
So I'm
torture.
I'm living with this for 2 to 3 days, and I'm just like, I didn't even. The only person that knew was my wife.
Yeah,
My dad didn't know. My friends and family didn't
it's
know. No
crazy.
one knew. I had to keep it because, like,
Yeah,
you got to be
yeah.
safe,
You have
man.
to,
Like,
you have to.
you wanna, like, if they're telling you, like, look, no one can know. You got to be professional about it at the end of the day,
Yeah.
and no one knew, just apart from me and my wife, man. And it was crazy because I got I had another job on a film,
Oh, okay.
as a supporting artist on a, I forgot what the name of the film was, but because they use code names on the day, like,
Yeah.
they don't say the real name of the film when you're on set. Um, but it starred Timothy. Oh, I forgot his surname, but he played in Harry Potter, and he
Oh,
was
wow. Okay.
and Dean Thomas from Harry Potter was
Yeah.
there. I forgot his real name. But yeah, he was the other guy I'm talking about, Timothy. I forgot how to say his surname. He was Wormtail from Harry Potter, and I'm on set with like maybe 50 to 60 other supporting artists, and we're at like a train station.
Yeah.
And so, like, when you're there all day, you get to speak with all the other supporting artists, and it was just like speaking and stuff. And then, like, we all started asking, what do you lot do, like, apart from this? And I said, I'm a boxing announcer. Then we got into the topic of boxing announcing. Then they started bringing it up. They're going, "Oh, KSI's fighting soon,"
Yeah.
and I can't say nothing.
Oh, that.
I go, yeah, yeah. I go, yeah, he's
Yeah.
fighting soon. Yeah, yeah. Like, they were like, can't you try and, like, how would you get into doing that? I was just like, I don't know, man. I go, like, I think it's just like, you got to, like, find out who the teams are and
Yeah.
maybe try and apply that way. But all this time, I'm the one doing it. It's like, I'm like, I couldn't say nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then after lunch, I remember we had lunch. We went back to this hotel thing. Like, they had this room full of food for us to eat. We ate there. Then we come back to the set. Then I get a message and sent the picture saying, we're posting and announcing you're doing the announcements with Fox in
Okay.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, shit, I'm on set. I was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
talking to these guys about it. And then what's it? Then I remember when it all came through and it all popped off. And then as I was editing to post it myself, my phone died. I didn't have no charger.
Ah,
I had to borrow one of the guys' phones and log into my Insta
yeah,
account
yeah,
to post it all and see all the stuff. And it was crazy, man. But then after that, at the whole point of what we were where we were talking from, we went a bit off track. Still at this point, I didn't know Michael Buffer was going to be there.
yeah.
And I think it was a day before everything started, like the public workout. We get the announcement Michael Buffer's going to be announcing there. So that was just the icing on the cake, if
Has to
you
be,
want to
yeah,
call it that, or the cherry on top. Because when I found that out, that that was more of a like boom,
yeah.
like something's just gone off within myself when I saw that. And man, I just remember me and my wife couldn't believe it that he was going to announce there, and I'm sharing the stage with him. You know,
Yeah, it's the greatest of all time. Like that must have been crazy. I know if I had anything like that, like especially if it was like say I was in your position and let's say KSI was there. To me, KSI is like he's everything that I look up to. So
mm.
if I was on a stage like that and KSI was right next to me, I'd be like, this is crazy. Couldn't control my emotions. So yeah,
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, man,
yeah,
and that's what it felt like. But then, like, so yeah, so just knowing that it was insane in itself.
yeah,
And then I
100%.
remember the first time meeting, like, I remember I saw him at the press conference, but I didn't actually get to say hello and meet him.
Right.
Um, which was okay, like because like I was still taking in everything that happened in the press
Yeah,
conference because
yeah.
it was
It was
very
wild. Yeah,
animated and very good. And I thought, I'm gonna bump into Michael sooner or later anyway, so I thought I'll leave it. But then I remember at the weigh-in is when they arranged for me to meet
yeah.
him, and we done that little video together that we did with
With
Fox.
Fox, yeah.
That was so awesome, man. That was so awesome. And yeah, he actually didn't know, like he didn't know that I was the guy from the Tube
Oh wow.
at the time. Yeah, so he didn't know. I mean, again because of COVID happened and everything. Like I
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
everything died down, and it was 3 years ago,
yeah, yeah.
and I've lost 4 stones in weight. So
Oh, that's crazy.
I've that is changed a lot. A lot's changed since then. So I didn't, expect him to know. So
Yeah.
that's why I just asked him. I go, "Do you remember me?" And he thought I did a matchroom thing. And I went,
Oh,
no, no. I was from the Tube on London Underground. And you should have seen the way his face lit up, man. He was like, oh my God. He shook my hand. He goes, that was awesome, man. He was going, that went viral. He goes, that was crazy. He
yeah.
goes, yeah.
He's a busy
Because now
man.
you're
To be
here.
fair.
He goes, now you're here. He goes, that's great, man. He goes, that's awesome. And like in my head, I think like I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Like
Yeah,
really. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
And then come to fight night. I remember having all my cards ready. I've looked over the names. I know how I'm gonna announce it,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm just preparing myself. And now I come ringside, and then I've never announced in an arena this big, not like, and then just knowing that it's packed out 20,000 and pay-per-view on the zone. It's just like,
it's crazy. Yeah, I understand you lost for words. Like you can't put into
and
emotion how that feels.
and then just you know then just seeing like people around
Yeah,
ringside, David
yeah,
Hay, they like that I went and introduced myself to
yeah.
David Hay, and then he knew who I was,
Wow,
and then he said to me, I'm looking forward to seeing your work tonight.
that must have been
That's his
crazy.
that was his first words to say to me. And I was just like, man, I just said, I hope you enjoy the show,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know. And then because in my mind I'm ready. It's a preparation that it's I can't explain
Yeah.
that, because I'm in the hotel room alone. I had no friends or family at the
Yeah.
arena. I'm there on my own. I know my wife's at home with the kids. They're watching. I know she's got some of her sisters round, and they're watching. And just like, I haven't spoken to a lot of people during this time because I couldn't deal with no
Yeah.
distractions.
Yeah.
It's like it takes a lot of mental preparation for
Yeah.
something this big.
100%.
If you're coming from a smaller sort of hall shows
Yeah.
to something to this magnitude,
Yeah.
this is just
100%.
this ain't like building. This is like you're here and then now you're doing something up here.
Yeah.
It's just wow. And then when I see Michael, like it's getting packed, and then I see Michael Buffer arrive, and I'm like, okay, it's starting now. It's getting real.
Yeah.
And yeah, like we did rehearsals, like, not with Buffer. Like I did rehearsals with the team before. Me and Fox done some rehearsals. That
Yeah.
was awesome, by the way. So like all the teams telling me,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
getting ready, and then I just remember thinking like the atmosphere is crazy for one anyway, because I've never been ringside like
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
or an arena like that.
Yeah.
I've been to arenas like that, but not ringside like this. Like I've been some of them I've been up in the gods. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I just remember thinking, I'm sharing the stage with Buffer here. The whole world's watching, and I didn't. I just kept concentrating and thinking I need to be on point, be on par,
Yeah.
or if not even better. That's what was running in my mind. I had no room for nerves. I had no room. Oh, am I going to be as good or anything? No, just go in, do your thing,
Yeah.
and then, man, I there were some announcements when I announced, I felt the roof shake, man,
Yeah.
and that the whole point to your question, the atmosphere was crazy, and the whole build up to it was mad. Everything was unreal,
I don't want to take too
And
much
then we
more.
did. Then we did. No, I'm fine for
I've got
time. I'm okay for time.
2 minutes left on the Zoom call here.
Okay, cool. No worries, man.
But I just want to get your prediction for this KSI versus Dillon Dannis fight. What do you think is going to happen?
Uh, man. I mean, obviously, I've seen KSI fight, and
Yeah.
you know what? Like when I remember seeing KSI's, because I arrived to the public workout on Misfits One just after KSI had
Yeah.
just finished, so
Yeah.
he was leaving when I came.
Right.
But I remember seeing the videos and watching him on the pads and stuff. Because like again, I see professional
Yeah.
boxers day in
Yeah.
day out. He looked good. I remember saying to myself, "Oh, you know what? Like he's got a good jab and movement. I go, he's going to be a problem." Like
Yeah.
when I first saw him on the pads for Misfits One, that's my initial thought. I thought he's going to be good. Dillon Dannis, I haven't seen much at all. I haven't even researched or anything. I've only just seen obviously from him coming into Misfits. That's the only thing I've
Yeah.
got knowledge on
Yeah.
him about, and just the whole thing that happened with what was it, Anthony Taylor?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, on the streets of Texas. Yeah, that's the only thing I've seen. And the coffee that
Yeah. At Wade and
Paul
all. Yeah.
Wade got it. Yeah, Wade got it, man. I feel
Yeah.
sorry for him there, man.
So you think that
But yeah.
probably KSI will win then?
From what I mean, look, I mean, Dillon Dannis is a MMA fighter, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Coming into boxing's a bit like I would say the person who's done boxing a lot more should have the edge. So yeah, I'm going with a prediction of KSI to
Okay.
win.
Thank you for
Yeah,
joining me, my friend.
no
I'd
worries,
love to
man.
speak
Thank
to
you
you
for
later.
having me, man.
Thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see
No
you in
worries.
January.
Yeah, hopefully,
Hopefully.
hopefully, yeah. If it does, when it does, or if it does get
Yeah.
confirmed and stuff, like everyone will know about it. But like, I'm just hoping, man. Like, because nothing's 100% concrete yet.
100%. Yeah.
Um, but I hope so because it's an amazing event, man. And I can't wait. If like I love going there, do you know what I mean? Like I love the
Yeah.
whole fight week. It's an
It's
amazing
crazy.
experience.
Crazy.
I love it. It's brilliant, and I love to be a part of it, man.
Yeah.
If people enjoy what I do, thank you. And I always just try to aim and be
Yeah.
entertaining and get the atmosphere going, to get the crowd hype, to pump the atmosphere back
Yeah.
into the fighters, and let's have a bloody show, man. Do
Yeah.
you know what I
Yes,
mean?
bro.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like I think that's what they love, the energy that I bring, man. Because that's what it's about. It's not about me, the MC, at all. It's about my voice to just make the atmosphere in the arena for a
Yeah.
great show for everyone watching, man, and the fighters. It's about the fighters. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if the atmosphere gets into the fighters, then they know as well. You know what? This is real, man.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And then, because if the atmosphere is dead and flat, the fighters ain't gonna be that hype or
Yeah.
pumped for it.
I think
You
that's
know what
what
I mean? But
Misfits
if
have done a
if
good job with.
everything's going mad,
Yeah.
like with
Yeah.
proper with my catchphrase, like let's see some thunder. Do you know
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So like when it's going mental in there, then let's have a show, man.
Yeah, man.
Let's give them what they want.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's what it's about. And
Yeah.
I aim to bring that 110% each time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And you brought
Yeah,
that
I love it.
in the last one that you did. Did a very good job.
Oh man,
Yeah. Thank you so
thank you,
much,
man. I
man.
appreciate that.
Yeah. I appreciate
No
you
worries,
coming
man.
today as well.
Anytime, man. Thank you for having me,
Thank
man.
you for
Keep
coming
up
on.
the good work,
Thank
and I
you.
hopefully see you there, man. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. I got tickets to the show. If you're there,
Awesome, bro.
I hope you're the one doing the ring announcing. I'll definitely have a chat with you. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Uh,
No problem,
Thank you,
man.
man.
Cheers, man. Have a good
Cheers.
day, man.
You
See
too,
you
man.
soon.
See you soon.
See you later, my brother.